In a weird turn of events in this campaign, you seem to be rooting for Doug Mastriano to win the Republican campaign, even putting some effort behind encouraging it. Tell me why.
Well, not at all, Ali. I mean, it was clear to us 2-3 weeks out from public polling, private polling, that Doug Mastriano was going to win that primary, and win it he did by an overwhelming margin, as you said. And we wanted to get a jump start early on the general election campaign and pointing out just how dangerous this man is. He wants to ban all abortion and criminalize and jail doctors who perform them without any exceptions. He believes climate change is fake. He wants to take away marriage equality in Pennsylvania. He was there on January 6th, and when the police told him to stop, he kept marching. And finally, he has boasted not just about his efforts to overturn the last election, but that as governor, he would overturn the next one, and that he would rig the system in favor of his preferred candidate, presumably Donald Trump. There is a clear contrast in this race. The stakes couldn't be higher, and this man is a danger, not just here in Pennsylvania, but to democracy all across our country.
So what happens? Does a guy like Doug Mastriano sort of enthuse the base to come out and vote for him, or do middle-of-the-road Pennsylvanians who might skew a little Republican say, this is a bit much?
Look, I've been proud to win twice statewide in Pennsylvania on the strength of not just tremendous support from the Democratic Party, but really strong support from independents and moderate Republicans as well. I think we can do that again in the governor's race in 2022. But, you know, he does have an enthusiastic, small group of supporters. And, you know, when you hear him talk to them, Ali, and this is an important point, he talks all about freedom. I mean, he actually talks about walking as free people. And I mean, that's a total crock. This guy talks about controlling women's bodies. That's not freedom. He talks about telling our kids what books they can read. That's definitely not freedom. He talks about, you know, being able to worship where you want, but it's only if you agree with his particular religious thought. That's certainly not freedom. And it's definitely not freedom to say you're going to let people go vote, but you're going to pick the winner. That's not freedom. And I think the more people dig in to what he really stands for and the way he's looking to impose his views and his will on the people of Pennsylvania, that's not freedom, and they're not going to buy it.
So this is interesting because right after he won that primary, he made these comments about you, and they actually have to do with freedom. Let's listen.
Go ahead.
The future for Pennsylvania under Josh Shapiro is an oppressive regime, not unlike East Germany, where your freedoms will be snatched away. So let's walk in freedom. Let's choose this day. Let's choose this day to serve the Lord.
East Germany, he pegged you as. It's going to be like East Germany when we drive to Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, I think what a lot of people are learning is he offers a lot of dangerous and divisive rhetoric. And the only thing more dangerous and divisive than his rhetoric are his policies. Policies that, again, would criminalize abortion here in Pennsylvania. Policies that would roll back so much of the progress we've made on civil rights. The kinds of things that he's talking about would just inject total chaos in our system and make it harder for our kids to learn and harder for our economy to grow and harder for us to have safe community. Look, I've been traveling all across Pennsylvania talking to them about the issues that matter most. And what they're talking about is the kind of things that we're going to fight for, you know, delivering funding for our kids' schools and more funding for police and safe communities across Pennsylvania, an economy that lifts everybody up, including those that have been left behind in urban and rural communities. He's not focused on any of that, just more dangerous, divisive, dark rhetoric that will take us backwards.
You and I were in West Philly just before the election. We were out there one morning, and we were talking about election subversion. And you know, we often talk to Jocelyn Benson out of Colorado, the Secretary of State there.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Jocelyn Benson out of Michigan, or Jenna Griswold out of Colorado. Pennsylvania's got a different system. The Attorney General is chosen, appointed by the governor. Mastriano's been very clear that that's what he'll do. He'll pick someone who will do the things that he has warned that he would do. That is the fundamental threat. For anybody who doesn't live in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, that's the thing they have to worry about right now, that this guy's going to pick an attorney, a Secretary of State who might do something to overturn the election, which will have a national effect.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Here in Pennsylvania, our governor picks the Secretary of State, the person who oversees the elections. And our governor also is vested with the authority of appointing the presidential electors. Now, historically, those electors have been appointed by the governor based on the will of the people, based on which presidential candidate got one more vote than the other one. And that has been understood as part of our democracy for, years and years and years. Well, Senator Mastriano talks very differently. He talks about appointing, he incorrectly said 20 electors, it's 19 electors in the next presidential election for his preferred candidate, not based on the will of the people. And again, it goes back to what I said before. It's not freedom when you say to the good people of Pennsylvania, yeah, you go vote, but I'll pick the winner. I mean, that's absolutely undemocratic. It's not about the fundamental freedoms that we've come to rely on in this country. It is really dangerous. And when you begin to erode people's confidence in our democracy like that, it makes it much harder to then make progress on the other issues that really matter, like controlling costs and dealing with kids' mental health and making sure we protect our planet. There are so many issues that we need to deal with right now. And if you've got someone as governor who's going to pick the winner and erode people's confidence in our democracy, it will have a massive impact here in Pennsylvania and far-reaching impacts all across our country.